tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. May Tripajan bless you all. This is Satipatthana, Mahasatipatthana Sutta. As Mr. Pankaj said, it is number 80 now. 80. So, but we are still in such Dhammānupassanā, Saccapabbaṃ. Last day we finished Dukkha Satya, or the noble truth of suffering. Now the noble truth of cause of suffering, or we can say noble truth of the origin of suffering. Let's move to our Desana Pali of Mahasatipatthana Sutta and the Atthakatha or the commentary. And sometimes we need the sub-commentary too. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Pankaj. Well, let's see what it says. Samudayasaccaniddeso, that means description of the noble truth of the origin of suffering. And number 400, it says, Katamancha Bhikkave Samudaya Dukkha Samudayam Ariya Satcham. Now, this is the Buddha asking this way. And what because is the noble truth of origin of suffering? This is the question. Katamang means the question. Yayam tanha pono bhavika nandiraga sahagata tatra tatra binandini sayyatidam kamatanha bhavatanha vibhavatanha. This is the Buddha's explanation of the dukkha samudaya ariya satya. That means the noble truth of the cause of suffering or noble truth of the origin of suffering in this way. Now Buddha said, initially asking the question and wanted to give the answer. That means willing to give the answer. So that is what is called Kattu Kammeta Pucca. So that means Buddha wanted to ask question and give the answer. So then now in the same way, and what because is the noble truth of origin of suffering? It is that craving, yayang tanna, it is that craving, or it is this craving, pono bhavika. Pono bhavika means which gives rise to future rebirth. That is the pono bhavika, future rebirth. And nandiraga sahagata. Well, nandiraga sahagata means bound up with pleasure and lust. Pleasure and lust. Nandi means the pleasure, and the raga is the lust. So gone up with the pleasure and lust. So this craving is gone up with pleasure and lust. And tatra tatra binandani. Tatra tatra abhinandani means tatra plus abhinandani. That means tatra means now here, now there. And abhinandini means what is finding new delights now here, now there. What is that? Finding new delight now here, now there, and then it gives rise to the future rebirth, and that craving is bound up with pleasure and lust. What is that? These are three kinds of cravings in the world. So you have sayyatidam, that is to say, or namely, kamatanha, bhavatanha, vibhavatanha, three cravings, namely sensual craving, kamatanha, and the craving for existence, bhavatanha, and vibhavatanha means craving for non-existence. So I will tell again. And what because is the noble truth of origin of suffering? It is that craving, or it is this craving which gives rise to future rebirth, bound up with pleasure and lust, finding new delights here and now, namely sensual craving, craving for the existence, craving for non-existence. So this is the way how Buddha explained the noble truth of the origin of suffering. And then Buddha continue his Dhamma talk, how this craving arises in what in what where this craving arises and established, and thing explained thereafter. So actually, why Buddha explained here the craving is the origin of suffering. The craving, Buddha has mentioned the fundamental supporting cause. So why it is that? Because this craving is the predominant supporting cause for arising of suffering, according to the that is the dependent origination. Dependent origination means you can see what is in Pali. It is the paticca samuppada, dependent origination. So according to dependent origination, uh, there are 12 factors. Avijja pacca sankhara, sankhara pacca vijnanam, vijnanam pacca namarupam. What is the meaning? Avijja pacca sankhara. Because of the arising of avijja, a sankhara arises, right? Or the formation arises in you. And because of the formation means whenever you want to do kusala or the akusala action, wholesome or the unwholesome action, then there arises mind. So that mind never arise along with the mental factor, with the volition. So this volition is, if this volition is very powerful or strong and very strong, then the karmic power arises. Karmic power arises. So then you have then according to this paticca or the dependent origination. So Buddha said, therefore, because of the arising of the ignorance, formation arises, right? And because of the arising of formation, the birth linking mind movement arises. That means, but avijja pacca sankara, now sankara pacca vijnanam, like that. In that is the way this dependent origination is going on. But we just go into the dependent origination later. But now, this is the Buddha mentioned. This is the main fundamental supporting cause for the arising of for the arising of suffering. The craving is the fundamental cause. But when Buddha told this craving never usually arise along. Craving is, when you say craving, then the clinging as well as the ignorance implicitly included. So I told every time before also. So when I explain Samudayasaccaniddeso in the case of Anapana section, so I told always, if Buddha mentioned craving, you have ignorance and clinging implicitly. And if the Buddha mentioned avijja or the ignorance or the delusion or illusion or some similar word, then the craving and the clinging implicitly included. And if the clinging mentioned, sometimes Buddha mentioned the clinging, and you must know that if the clinging mentioned upadana, right, then craving and ignorance implicitly included. I explained this very important fact while I taught you in the case of Samudayasacca. I explained in this Samudayasacca through the dependent origination in our what call our Anapana section. Okay, now it says in, therefore this is you must know that this is also, this is actually this is according to the Atthakatha. According to the Atthakatha, it says in this way, just as a mature seed with moisture can grow its own plant when you planted it in suitable soil, along the same line, the kamma seed, like that seed, mature seed, this kamma seed with the moisture of craving. Now the craving is the moisture. and that is the supporting cause, and will produce the plant like fire aggregate. So this is this has said in maybe this Attakatha also, in another Attakatha also it has said in this way. So therefore, this fire clinging aggregate, you have your materiality aggregate, feeling aggregate, and then your perception aggregate, your formation aggregate, and the consciousness aggregate. So without but craving, the karmic power cannot produce the fire clinging aggregate. This is very important fact. Without craving, the karmic power cannot produce the fire clinging aggregate. That is very, very important to remember. So craving needs to arise fire clinging aggregates, because karmic power. When you talk about the karmic power, that means when the Buddha want to give the mention about the karmic power. So then this karmic power is the thing power um, of the formations, whatever the formation are or unwholesome or wholesome formations. So that the power is included there. And then when the formation vanish or disappears after rising of the mental mind movement, and then it leaves this karmic power, and then it vanishes. That means the formation vanishes, and then you have karmic power. But to this karmic power cannot produce the fire clinging aggregate without craving. So this is you want to keep in your deep mind. So then that's why Buddha explained the craving is the cause of origin of suffering, because this is the fundamental cause. But if you say avijja is the fundamental cause, no problem, right? But um, here Buddha explained tanha, because tanha or the craving, because you have 6 internal bases and 6 external bases. So there this craving arises and get established or exist again and again. So because of that reason, then the avijja, this is the fundamental cause. This is the most prominent supporting cause than avijja. So there, but you need to know that if Buddha talk about the craving, avijja and craving implicitly are included. So keep it in mind like that. Then it is very easy to going in this Mahasatipatthana Sutta, or to understand the Samudayasaccaniddeso. So therefore, let's move to our again. The other thing, actually, uh, in now that. So therefore, because of this reason, Buddha told to the in the Dhammadesana, it is the craving, that gives rise to birth, gone with pleasure and lust, and finding new delight here, now there, and like passage Buddha mentioned. Because of this reason, mean you have 5 causes. That mean you have fundamental cause to arise craving. Sorry, arise 5 aggregate. That is the craving, and within the craving you have ignorance and you are clinging, and but what is the whatever your mind which arises with the wholesome or unwholesome mental factor, those are the formation, and this formation keeps the leaves out the karmic power, right? Because of that reason, Buddha mentioned um, the craving is the fundamental supporting cause to arise this 5 aggregate. Okay, therefore we need to go to our Desana Pali in this way. The second paragraph. Sakopanesa bhikkhave tanha katta upajjamana upajjati katta nivisamana nivisati. Nivisamana, not nivisamana, nivisamana nivisati. What is upajjamana upajjati? Upajjamana upajjati means in this way. Upajamana upajati means now the craving, is gonna arise. Where does this craving arises? That is the meaning. Sakopanesa bhikkhave tanha katta upajamana upajati. So you need to understand in this way. Panna esa mean panna esa. So sa esa tanha katta upajamana upajati. Like that you need to go with the line. And bhikkhave mean the monk. So then and bhikkhu, that craving is gonna arise. Where does this craving arises? And then again, katta nivisamana nivisati. Nivisamana nivisati mean get established. Or again and again, exist again and again. Nivisati mean. So nivisamana mean that is the present participle, right? Present participle. Oh yeah, that is the present continuous. Sorry, this is the present continuous form. So therefore, and this craving is gonna establish. Where does this craving establish? They asking this. That is that I will tell again. And because that craving is gonna arise, where does this craving arises? And where does this craving arise? And that craving is gonna establish. Where does this craving establish? That's the meaning. And let's see where this craving is gonna establish. Kinchaloke pirupang satarupang. Sorry. Yang loke pirupang satarupang ettesa tanha upajamana upajati etta nivisamana nivisati. So the loke mean in the world, yang pirupang, yang satarupang. That means whenever in the world there is anything pirupa. Pirupa mean here rupa mean not the materiality, in nature. Meaning is in nature. That means enjoyable in nature. So whenever in the world there is anything enjoyable in nature, as well as satarupa, pleasure in nature. Pleasure in nature, there this craving arises and established. So therefore, yang loke pirupang satarupang etta esa tanha upajamana upajati. Etta mean there, right? There this craving, that craving, esa, sorry, that this craving arises, and there this craving get established. So therefore, this Piyarupa and Satarupa are very dangerous, right? Piyarupa and Satarupa. Piyarupa means anything that is enjoyable in nature, and Satarupa means anything that is pleasant in nature. So if you have enjoyable in nature and pleasant in nature, there your craving arises, and there your craving get established. So that's the meaning. So let's see what are they, these Piyarupa and the Satarupa. And that means Piyarupa means enjoyable in nature, Satarupa means pleasant in nature. So Kincha Loke Piyarupan Satarupan. So Buddha said that, and what in the world is enjoyable in nature and pleasant in nature. So, and again, having given the answer in this way, Chakku loke pirupang satrupang ettesa tanha upajamana upajati etta nivisamana nivisati. Your eye in the world, right? Your eye in the world is enjoyable in nature and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established itself. So that's the meaning. So therefore this enjoyable in nature and pleasant in nature, the eye, that is very dangerous. Because why? Our eye, we keep, we always usually um, keep protect this eye, and then we think that my eye is better than the others like thing, and then I, not only this eye, your all five sense doors, and then your you need to protect these five sense doors. Why you love to these five sense organs or the doors? And because of that reason, this is, to you, it is enjoyable in nature. And because of that reason, to you, it is what called pure asatarupa, pleasant in nature. So therefore, Atthakatha says, I will go to the Atthakatha later on. And Atthakatha says, therefore you look at in the mirror and you look your eye, ear, nose, and then your mouth and tongue, that means especially, and your body. Um, why? They are very enjoyable and they are very pleasant in nature. That's the meaning. So therefore, Buddha focused those things to understand to the listener and the practitioner, that means the meditator, to practice correct way. That means when Buddha says like, okay, your eye is enjoyable to you, your ear is enjoyable to you and pleasant to you, and that means your sense organ, that means your sense door, that means that is the materiality, door of materiality. That means Buddha mentioned here the material, about the materiality, right? About the materiality in your body. Okay, so then kinchaloke pierupan satarupang, and what in the world is enjoyable in nature and pleasant in nature? Chakkuloke pierupan satarupang ette sa tanha upajamana upajati etta nivisamana nivisati. So, and what in the world is enjoyable in nature and pleasant in nature? In the world, the eye is enjoyable and pleasant, and there this craving arises and establishes itself. So, and not only that, your sotang loke pirupang satarupang ette sa tanha upajamana upajati etta nivisamana nivisati. But those things are not mentioned here. It has shortened here by the Peyala. Right? Sotang loke means the ear in the world. Ear in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established itself. So not only that, your gahanang loke pirupang satarupang ette sa tanha upajamana upajati etta nivisamana nivisati. And then your nose in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established. And in the same way, jivha loke pirupang satarupang ette sa tanha upajamana upajati etta nivisamana nivisati. And the tongue in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established. And kayo loke pirupang satarupang ette sa tanha upajamana upajati etta nivisamana nivisati. That means body in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature, and there this craving arises and get established itself. And then again, mano loke piyarupan satarupang ette sa tanha upajamana upajati etta nivisamana nivisati. And then mind in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established in itself. So therefore, Buddha mentioned the base of the, or the place, or uh, the place or the base where this craving can arise. So these are the important sites. And when Buddha says about the six sense doors, and then Buddha mentioned, that means six sense doors mean your internal six bases. And when Buddha says about the internal six bases, you know, this is the materiality meditation. But in the Dhammānupassanā, that means when you practice dukkha satya, or the noble truth of suffering, then you must finish this materiality meditation, and otherwise you can't enter into practice this. So therefore, you must take the practice of noble truth of suffering, and then only you can touch the noble truth of cause of suffering, noble truth of the origin of suffering, in this way. Otherwise, you can't go into discern noble truth of cause of suffering. So then let's move to the other paragraph. other paragraph. Actually, here in the Desana Pali, Buddha, Blessed One, elaborate the basis of this craving according to the six sense doors in 10 ways, right? In 10 ways. So let's see what 10 ways. 10 ways. The first thing is now, first way is finished. That is the sense doors. And the second way, so this is the second six out of 10. Okay. Rupa loke, pirupan satarupang, etesa tanha upajamana upajati, etha nivisamana nivisati. That thing is not there, but I told you, right? Not there, I mean, actually Buddha mentioned those things, but here in this Sangha, all these Masatipatthana Sutta, they have actually shortened this because then, you know, sometimes you were sometimes the typesetting is like that because then they easy to go. Okay, let's see what is the Chakkuloke. Chakkuloke, actually, you know, before that I will tell something. That means there are 6 internal bases. Actually what we finish are the 6 internal bases. Usually people have self-attachment to their own eyes, ears and nose, tongue, body and the mind. Because of this reason, I told you in the Attakatha, it is coming now. People always look at themselves at a mirror and they always adorn the body in different ways. And depending on these 6 sense bases, now strong and powerful craving arises in you without knowing. So therefore, these 6 internal bases are very important. If you want to go into the Nibbana. So therefore, let's see another, that means 6 external bases. Now Buddha is going to explain 6 external bases. Rupa loke pirupan satarupang ettesa tanha upajamana upajati etta nivisamana nivisati. Now this rupa is the rupa, or this is the plural form. Rupa is the singular form. So rupa loke means material, the visible objects, right? Visible objects in the world is enjoyable and enjoyable in nature and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established. And in the same way, saddha loke pirupan satarupang itesa tanha upajamana upajiti etta nivisamana nivisati. And then sounds in the world is enjoyable in nature and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established. In the same way, rasa loke pirupan sataru, gandha loke pirupan satarupang ettesa tanha upajamana upajiti etta nivisamana nivisati. And then gandha, odors in the world is enjoyable in nature and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established. And rasa loke pirupan satarupang este satana upajamana upajiti etta nivisamana nivisati. That means the flavors in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established itself. And pottabba loke pirupan satarupang ettesa tanha upajamana upajati etta nivisamana nivisati. That means pottabba loke means tangibles in the world or tangible objects in the world. Tangible means it touch your body with painful or some pleasure feeling. So the pottab, what is called pottab, that is the tangible. So tangible objects in the world is enjoyable in nature and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established. And Dhamma loke pirupan satarupang ettesa tanha upajamana upajati etta nivisamana nivisati. And Dhamma means the Dhamma objects. Dhamma objects in the world is enjoyable in nature and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established itself. So this is the 6 external bases. Okay, now we just went into the 6 external bases. So let's move to the Attakatha. Otherwise, you cannot understand fully. So we finish here up to the Desana Pali, and then let's move to the Attakatha. Attakatha says for number 400, Yayang Tanhati. Now they're gonna explain word by word. Word by word mean what is the first thing in the number 400. Kathamancha bhikkave dukkha samudayang ariya saccam. And what bhikkhu the noble truth of what bhikkhu is the noble truth of arising of suffering, and that is the yayang tanha pono bhavika nandiraga sahagata tatra tatra abhinandati seyyatidam kama tanha bhava tanha vibhava tanha. So those things now Buddha explained in this way. Yayang tanha. So what is this yayang tanha? I mean ya ayang tanha. Ya plus ayang tanha. Ya tanha ayang is ayang mean this. So ya tanha mean ayang ya ayang tanha. So they explain in this way. That means they separate now. Ya ayang tanha mean ya ayang tanha. And now actually ya ayang tanha. Ya ayang tanha mean, so then that means it is this craving, right? That's refers to it is this craving. Pono bhavikati punabhava karanam punabhavo. Punabhavo silang asati pono bhavika. Now what it means, what is the meaning of pono bhavika? Gives rise to the future rebirth. So what is the meaning? That is the future rebirth. But punabhava karanam punabhavo, that now they mention how this pono bhavika term was arisen. So in this way, pono bhavika means punabhava karanam punabhavo. What is the punabhava? First they're gonna explain punabhava, or the rebirth. Punabhava means the rebirth. Punabhava karanam punabhavo. That means working on to rebirth is the term punabhava. Working on to the rebirth is the term punabhava. And punabhavo silang asati pono bhavika. This silang is not your virtue or your morality. That is the status. Silang means it is not the virtue or something. Punabhavo silang asati. And now the nature, or we can say nature, right? The nature of oneself is working on to get rebirth, right? Get rebirth. Then the term pono bhavika is formed. Pono bhavika. So that is the meaning. Pono bhavika means the nature of oneself is working on to get rebirth. Then the term pono bhavika. Then they're gonna explain Nandi Raga Sagata. Nandi Ragena Saha Gatati Nandi Raga Sagata. What is the meaning of Nandi Raga Sahagata? We explain they are uh, gone with pleasure and lust. Gata mean gone, right? Saha mean with. So Nandi Raga, Nandi mean another term, that is the pleasure or delightful, and raga mean the lust. So Nandi Raga Sahagata means he has gone with the pleasure and lust. So that is the term Nandi Raga Sahagata. That is the explanation. And Nandi Ragena Sadding Attato Ekattameva Gatati Uttan Hoti. That means the pleasure and lust actually with the clause pleasure and lust, that means Nandi Raga Sahagata, pleasure and lust, is the same as the meaning with craving. That is the meaning. Ekattameva gatati. Sadi. Nandi Ragena attato ekattameva gata. That means that is the similar term to the craving. And tatra tatra binandaniti. You know, tatra means now here, now there. That means yatra yatra atra bahavo tatra tatra abhinandini. What is the meaning? The finding new delight, now here, now there, means whenever there is becoming as a being, then he is finding new delight, now here, now there. That's the meaning. Now here, now there. Abhinandini means delight. So then, new delight. He is finding new delight. Here, now there. Tatra, tatra means yatra, yatra, atra bhava, tatra, tatra abhinandini. That is the meaning. I will tell again. Finding new delight, now here, now there, means whenever there is becoming as a being, then the being, or he is finding delight now here, now there. New delight, right? New delight, not the no delight. New delight means new future life. That's the and Rupadisu va Aramanisu Tatra Tatra Abhinandini Rupa Abhinandini Sadda Gandha Rasa Pottabba Dhamma Abhinandini Tiatto. They explain again alternatively another meaning. Alternatively, Rupadi Aramanesu Tatra Tatra Abhinandini Rupa Abhinandini. That means among the six objects, Rupadisu mean Rupa Saddha Gandha Rasa Pottabba. That means Rupa mean the visible object, sound, order, flavor, and the tangibles, and the Dhamma object. So among these six objects, beginning with the visible data, like thing, delight now here, now there, and it is the sounds, order, flavor, tangibles, and Dhamma objects are now also applicable in this way. Therefore, it mentioned Saddha, Gandha, Rasa, Pottabba, Dhamma, Abhinandaniti Atto. And Sayati dan, term Sayati dan is Nipato. That is the, we can say, that is the particles. That is the particles. Nipata mean the particles. Tassa, sa katama cheti atto. That meaning is how many craving exist. Sa katama. Katama mean how many. How many cheti atto. That means how many craving you have. Bhave tanha, sorry. Kame tanha, kama tanha. Kame mean in the sensual world. So in the craving in the sensual plane is kama tanha. The term is kama tanha mean craving in the sensual plane. And panchakama gunika raga setang namang. That is actually, it is the sensual craving for colors, sounds, odors, flavors, and tangibles, and the Dhamma objects. So pancha kama gunika raga setang adivachanam. That is the meaning. Pancha kama gunika raga means the craving, sensual craving for colors, odors, flavors, and colors, sounds, odors, flavors, tangibles, right? And Dhamma object as well. Bhava tanha, bhava tanha. What is the bhava tanha mean? Craving for existence is the bhava tanha. Whenever you have craving for existence, that is the bhava tanha, right? Actually, this bhava tanha here, bhava pattana vasena uppannasa sassata ditti gata ditti sahagatasa rupa rupa bhava ragasa cha jhana nikantiya chetan adivachana. And now this bhava tanha is three types. Three types mean bhava pattana vasena uppannasa sassata ditti sahagatasa. You have rupa bhavaragasa cha. This cha is applicable in this way, right? Bhava pattana vasena uppannasa sassata ditti sahagatasa cha rupa bhavaragasa cha dhyana nikantya cha etang adivachanam. That is the meaning. So then I broke up, right? I broke up the sentence. So then because then it is very easy to translate. Bhava pattana vasinupannasa sasatu ditti sahagatasa. That means craving for existence. That means bhavatanha. That is of three kinds. The first one, First one is the arising of craving, right? Uppannasa sassataditi sahagatassa bhavapattana vasen. Arising of craving associated with wrong view, right? Actually, this sassataditi sahagatassa means wrong view. Actually, that admits or that accept the eternal self. Sassataditi means eternal self, right? Eternal self. That means imagining the soul. Somebody has soul. That soul moves from one life to the another. Soul moves from one life to the another. That is because of bhavapattana vasen, right? One life to the other. They accept the eternal self, right? Eternal self. That is the sassataditi. The other diti is the ucheda diti. That is the annihilation view, right? This is the eternal view. The other one is the wrong view in related to the eternal self, and this is what is called sassataditi. And the wrong view which relates to the annihilation view, right? Annihilation. Then it is the uchedati, right? So then this if your bhava or if your becoming is associated with the sassataditi or the eternal self, wrong view with eternal self, that is the bhavatanha. Keep in mind, kamatanha means sensual craving for sensual world, right? Sensual craving for sensual thing. That means craving for sensual colors, odors, flavors, like that. But bhavatanha means craving for existence. Craving for existence is the bhavatanha. This bhavatanha also three types. The first one is associated with the sassataditi. Sassataditi means eternal view. The craving, arising of craving, or associated with a wrong view that accepts or admits the eternal self. That means imagine the soul moves from one life to the another. That's the meaning. And the other one is rupa rupa bhava ragasa. Rupa means rupa arupa. Rupa bhava arupa bhava ragasa. That means the another kind of what called bhava tanha is the craving for existence, is the arising of craving for fine material world and immaterial world, right? Or the existence. The other one is jhana nikantya chetang adivachanam. The third one is the arising of craving for jhanas. So don't be worried about if I say like that according to the Attakatha. I'm saying not my word. I told you to produce always jhana. But now here says the jhana nikantya. That means the arising of craving for the jhana is also bhavatanha. But if you produce jhana and if you do the vipassana based on this jhana, then you can attain nibbana, and then you don't need to go to the bhavatanha or the craving for existence. So that's how you want to understand. Don't be worried about to produce the jhana. Buddha always appreciate or Buddha compliment to produce jhana. So don't be worried here. Vibhave tanha. Then now we finish bhavatanha three types. I will tell again this bhavatanha, three types bhavatanha. Bhavatanha means craving for existence, and three types bhavatanha mean the first thing is rising of craving associated with the wrong view that admits the eternal self. That means imagining yourself moves from this life to the another, like that. And then other thing is the craving, arising of craving for the fine material world and immaterial world. And the third one is arising of craving for the jhanas. So that is the third one. And then vibhave tanha, vibhava tanha. What is the vibhava tanha? The craving for non-existence. The craving for non-existence means vibhava tanha. That means you have craving, you have craving, that craving admits, you your life finish after death, right? No rebirth again and again after the nibbana. They don't know nibbana even. So they believe that that is what is called. Therefore, they believe in this way. That means the one who grabs this wrong view, right? Wrong view. This is actually wrong view, and this wrong view doesn't believe there is a future existence after death. So therefore, they will do some every akusala, all the unwholesome thing, every unwholesome thing, unwholesome deeds they can do because they never believe a future life. That's the meaning. So actually, this is the craving associated with the annihilation view, Uchcheda Ditti. So Uchcheda Ditti Raga, Uchcheda Ditti Sahagata Raga Setang Adivachana. So that means that is the actually the craving for non-existence is the Vibhavatanha. It is the craving associated with the annihilation view, Uchcheda Ditti. And that annihilation view, in the annihilation view, one who grabs this view actually doesn't believe there is a future existence after death. So keep in mind that is the Vibhavatanha. Bhava mean existence, Vibhava mean non-existence. Keep in this way, then it is easy to understand. And then actually we went to the Desana Pali, right? With Desana Pali we went, and then again we finished 6 internal bases and 6 external bases. Up to that we finish in the Desana Pali or the canon. Now idani tassa tanhaya vattum vittarato dassetum Saccapabbaṃ adimaha. That means idani tassa tanhaya. And now, in order to show the basis of this craving, the Buddha said, it is just that craving and the like passive, right? Saccapabbaṃ adimaha. So that means if you go to your Desana Pali in the left side, so you can say Saccapabbaṃ, the second. Mr. Pankaj, go to the Desana Pali second paragraph. Yeah. Saccapabbaṃ bhikkave tanha katta uppajjamana uppajjati katta nivisamana nivisati yang loke pirupam satarupam ettesa tanha uppajjamana uppajjati etta nivisamana nivisati. Now they're gonna explain this passage. And now let's see. So then tattha uppajjati iti. Then that means katta tanha katta uppajjamana uppajjati. So then what is the uppajjati mean? Jayati. Uppajjati mean that is the rises. Uppajjati mean or produces or is born, like that meaning. Nivisati. Nivisati iti punah punang pavatti vasena patittahati. That means nivisati mean nivisati refers to the verb. Actually verb, that is the nivisati mean verb. Uppajjati is the verb. So this verb, what is the meaning? Establishes, that is the meaning, which is by means of existence of craving again and again, right? Pavatti vasen, punam pavatti vasen, existence of craving again and again, patittahati, established, right? Established. Because if something is again and again get established, then it is the so again and again exists, then it get established. That's the meaning. Yang loke piyarupang satarupangti. Then this term, explanation of this term. Yang loke piyarupang satarupanti. What is the meaning of yang loke piyarupang satarupanti? Yang lokasmin. Yang lokasmin in the world, in some world, Piya bhavancheva madhura bhavancha. What is this Piya Rupa and Bhava Rupa? Sorry, Sata Rupa. Piya, I told that Rupa is not the materiality, Rupa is the nature. So therefore it says Piya Sabhava. That means enjoyable in nature. Right? Piya Sabhavancheva Madhura Sabhavancha. Madhura Sabhava means pleasant in nature. Pleasant in nature. And Piya Sabhavancha means enjoyable in nature. We can say agreeable in nature, right? Or we can say satisfactory in nature. Enjoyable means satisfactory in nature. So like that, that is the meaning. And therefore, yang loke pirupang satarupang means in the world, enjoyable and pleasant mean what is the meaning? In whatever world, anything exists enjoyable in nature and pleasant in nature. That is the meaning. Chakku loke pi adisu lokasmin hi. The now chakku loke pi rupang satarupang ette satana upajamana upajati. That is the meaning is chakku loke pi rupang satarupang means the eye in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established. That is the Buddha's explanation. Now here they're gonna explain in this. Say chakku loke pi adisu in the passage of or the clause of Chakku the eye in the world, so on things. Lokasminhi Chakkadisu Mamattena Abhinivitta Satta Sampatyam Patittita Attano Chakkung Adasa Taladisu Nimitta Gahana Anusarena Vipasannang Panchapasadang Suvanna Vimane Uggatita Manisiya Panjarangvya Manyanti, right? So I told you about the mirror, right? So now it has come. What is the meaning? Lokasmi chakkadisu mamattena abhinivita satta. The beings now in the world in needs, indeed, the beings clung with conceit, right? Mamat, being clung with conceit, or being get attached with uh, conceit or pride, right? Conceit stood in the properties and the like happinesses. That is what is called sampatyam. Sampatyam satta mamattena abhinivitta. Abhinivitta means clung with conceit. Mamattena abhinivitta sampatyam patittita. And then they stood in the properties and the like happiness. That is prosperity. We can say prosperity. And Patittita, Attano Chakkung Adasa Taladisu, Adasa Tala mean that is the mirror, right? Adasa Tala mean that is the disc of mirror like that, right? Or some stagnant water, right? Adasa Taladisu, Nimitta Gahana Nusarena Vippasanam Panchapasadam, Swanna Vimane Uggatita Manisiya Panjarangvya Manyantiya. Then they think, right? They think in this way. They look at actually they look at to see one's own pure and bright eye. Vipasannam uh, Vipasannam Chakkum, right? Vipasannam Chakkum means bright, and we can say that is the bright and pure and bright eye. That is with Panchapasada. Panchapasada means actually, you know, how many colors in the world. That means, you know, the color, blue color, skin color. I mean, blue skin, yellow skin, red skin, black skin, white skin, like that. White, not actually the pink skin or something like that. So that is the Panchapasad, right? Panchapasadam Vipasannam Panchapasadam Swarna Vimane Uggatita Manisiya Panjarangvya. Here this simile is very important. Swarna Vimana mean in the golden palace, right? In the golden palace, Uggatita Manisiya Panjarangvya. Uggatita mean open, having open Manisiya Panjarangvya. Manisiya Panjarang mean Panjarang mean, you know, Siha Panjarang mean that is the window, right? Window. So then we can say the window opened uh, actually you think that your eye or you get you look at to see your eye with eyes with pure and bright eye, one's own pure and bright eye, uh, that is with 5 color: blue, yellow, red, black, and white. You know, eye like that. Sometimes your eye blue, sometimes yellow, sometimes red, sometimes black, sometimes white, like that. You have five types of eye, five colored eye. So then that is what's called Panchaprasada. And they think the eye is like open gem window. Uggahatita Manisiya Panjara. Open gem window in the golden palace. Right? You think that your eye is like open gem window in the case of in the golden palace. So therefore you become very proud, you become conceit. So because of that reason, the eye is enjoyable and pleasant to you, to the everybody, right? Even not only the arahant, to other all, not only to the arahant and anagami, to the other all, the same thing can be applicable. Okay, so then I will tell again, this is very important. They explain in this way, in the world, indeed, the beings clung with conceit or clinging with conceit and stood in the properties and the like happiness. They look at to see one's own pure bright eye, that is with five color, namely blue, yellow, red, black, white. Not only everybody's, right? You have only one color eye, not two color, not every color. And they think the eye is like open gem window in the golden palace. Right? And then there arise craving, therefore. And there arise craving and get established craving in the eye. Because you think your eye is very beautiful one. Sotang Rajana Panalikang Viya. Sorry, Rajata Panali. Right? Sotang Rajata Panalikang Viya. Now you think that the being think that the ear is like a silver cylinder and a silver again a silver cylinder, right? Oh, Pamanga Suttang Viyacha Manjati. Pamanga Suttang mean that is the silver waistband. Silver waistband. Sometimes you have seen some in the ancient time, you have silver waistband, right? Silver waistband, maybe silver waistband, usually silver waistband, not the golden. Some grandma, grandpa use this thing, right? In nowadays also. So therefore, you think that your eye is like silver cylinder, or and a silver waistband, what called Pamanga Sutta. Pamanga Sutta. And again, Tunga Nasati Ladda Voharam Gahanam Vattitva Tapita Haritala Vattang Vir Manyanti. And then they think their nose is high nose, right? Tunga Nasa means high nose. High nose is another meaning also. High nose is very proud one, we call high nose one. So, so-called high nose as wrapped up gray stone. Gray stone means haritala. Gray stone, wrapped up gray stone like, right? And then what is the tongue is like? Jivhang ratta kambala patalang viya. Mudda sinidda madura rasa, madura sadang manyanti. Madura sadang manyanti. Madura sadang manyanti. That means they think that their tongue, right? They think that their tongue is like a red membrane of Kambala cloth. Kambala cloth means, this Kambala cloth usually in ancient India these days also, and sometimes in China. Yeah, Ratta Kambala. Kambala, I cannot remember at the moment what is the English term for the Kambala cloth. So then, usually red membrane of Kambala cloth, they think that their tongue is like a red membrane of Kambala cloth. And again, the rasa or the taste, right? Taste is like mudu sinidda madhu rasada and mudu sinidda madura rasada manya. That means, sorry, as a giver of taste, and they think this tongue is as a giver of taste, and that is soft and fine. Giver of taste, that is soft and fine. They think like that. And kayang, how is the body like that? Kayang sala latting via suanna torang via manyanti. They think that their body, physical body, as a golden toran, swanna toranam, pandal, right? Golden pandal, and sala latting means as a young sultry. And they think that their body, physical body, as a golden pandal and as a young sultry. Every time you think that your body is like a young sultry, oh yeah, like a golden pandal. This way thinking. Saddam, again, now the internal base is finished, right? Internal base is finished. Sorry. Again, manang, anyesang manena asadisang ularang manyanti. They think their own mind, one's own mind, is an unequal super great than the others, right? Unequal. Asadisang means unequal super great than the others' mind. Like that, they will think. And because of that reason, that means this is the Piya Rupa and Saka Rupa to you. That means this is the enjoyable in nature and this is the pleasant in nature for you. Okay, now Saddam. Then now they're gonna explain what is the sound, right? Okay, Rupang. Rupang Suvanna Kanikara Puppadi Vannang Viya. Now, actually, they think the visible objects, whatever you see, the visible objects are like golden flower of Kanikara tree. Maybe Kanikara tree means Bayer tree, right? Bayer tree. Kanikara tree means that gives the golden like flower. Usually this tree, I think India and then maybe in Myanmar, like countries, this is more prominent, this Kanikara or the Bayer tree. And they think that visible objects are like golden flower of the Kanikara tree. And then people think the sound object is like Saddang Matta Karavika Kokila Manda Damita Mani Vansa Niggo Sangvya. Now Saddha, actually Manda Damita means we can say well-tuned, evenly well-tuned is Manda Damita. Damita mean actually, Damita mean blown, or we can say sounder. So then Niggosa means shouting out. Shouting out is the Niggosa, sound, making sound. Speech or something like that also Niggosa. Manivansa. Manivansa Niggosang. Manivansa means delightful, right? Delightful. Kokila, what is the kokila mean? Cuckoo birds. You know, usually Indian cuckoo birds. So, Saddang Matta Karavika. So then they think that Sadda or the sound object is Matta Karavika Kokila. Matta Karavika Kokila mean, you know, that Matta mean inebriated. Or like we can say that is the proud, right? We can say proud. They think that the sound objects are like a super delight sound of a proud cuckoo bird. who sounds evenly well tuned all the time. In this way, they think they are whatever they hear, such kind of like attana patiladdhani chatu samutthānika gandharammanaādīni kassanyassa evarupani anye athiti manyanti. And then they actually received orders, and the rest of objects mean flowers, and then tangibles like objects, right? And then Dhamma object, which generate from four kinds of materiality. Chatu Samutthānika mean those are generated by four kinds of materiality. That means karma-born materiality, and then mind-born materiality, temperature-born materiality, and nutriment-born materiality. So those objects are such kind of. So they think thus, who else can this kind of order, flavor, tangibles, and dumb objects have other than me? Like they develop conceit in them. So therefore, that's why Buddha explained the six internal bases as well as six external bases. Tesang evang manyamanang, tesang evang manyamananang tani chakkadini piyarupani cheva satarupani cha honti. Because of that reason, they keep thinking in this way, and then these kind of eye and like five color stuffs. Five color stuff mean, the blue and the like stuff and the color stuff become enjoyable in nature and pleasant in nature. Atha tesang tatta anupanna cheva tanna uppajjanti uppanna cha tanna punah punang pavatti vasena nivisati. Because of that reason, the unreason craving generates already a reason craving establishes by means of repeated existence in them. Because now you have preceding craving, and this preceding craving is the main supporting cause for the succeeding craving, is repeated craving. So that's the meaning. That means once you generate craving, that is the preceding craving, and it becomes more powerful craving because it gets succeeded. So therefore, this sentence is very important. Atta nesan tatta anupanna cheva tanha uppajjati uppanna cha tanha punah punah pavatti vasena nivisati. Nivisati means get established. Tasma bhagava. Therefore, the blessed one, chakku loke pirupang satarupang ethesa tanha uppajjamana uppajjati iti adimaha. Because of that reason, only Buddha told in the Dhammānupassanā, chakku loke pirupang satarupang. And then the eye in the world is enjoyable in nature and pleasant in nature. Ethesa tanha uppajjamana uppajjati iti. There this craving arises and get established itself, and like passage Buddha has mentioned. Tattha uppajjamanati. What is the meaning of uppajjamana? Uppajjamana means the craving is gonna arise, right? The craving is gonna arise means yada uppajjamana hoti, and when the craving is arising, tada etta uppajjati iti atto. Now there, at that time, there it arises. That's what it's mean. It's meant. Esanayo sabbata. This can be applied for every where in the case of internal bases as well as the external basis. So this is the explanation of the Atthakatha. And then let's move to the other Desana Pali. Right? Desana Pali. And then third one. Now Vijnana. Then now the internal basis finished, then external basis finished. And then this is then the Buddha mentioned the Mr. Pankaj, go to Desana Pali. Yeah, good. Desana Pali. So you can see, then you Buddha mentioned Chakku Vinyanam Loke Pirupan Satarupang Ete Satana Upajamana Upajati Etani Visamana Nivisati, like thing. That means Chakku Vinyanam Loke, that means the eye consciousness in the world is enjoyable and plus in nature. There this craving arises and get established itself. So now see, now 6 internal bases and 6 external bases. Now Buddha explained the chitta viti, or the mental process. Because without mental process, your craving doesn't arise. Right? So then Buddha mentioned the mental process. So without mental process, you can realize Nibbana. So there, every time Buddha mentioned this mental process. Right? Mental process and the mind movement. The Chakku Vijnana means one mind movement. But you know now Chakku Vijnana can't arise without seeing the object to the base, right? Or the Saccapabbaṃ, or the eye translucency, or the eye sensitivity. So it doesn't, if it doesn't get what called the impinge in the Saccapabbaṃ, there are no arising of Chakku Vijnana. Right? If they are not arising Chakku Vijnana in the eye base, and then your mind base, you don't have another kind of chitta viti, or the mental process like panchadara vajjana, or the five adverting consciousness, and then sampatichana santirana, like consciousnesses never arise. So because of that, because chitta viti, you need chitta viti to understand those, the knowledge of chitta viti to understand this. Okay. Now, Chakku Vinyanam Loke, then Sota Vinyanam Loke Pirupan Satarupang, in the same way, right? Sota Vinyanam Loke Pirupan Satarupang, Ete Satana Upajamana Upajati Etta Nivisamana Nivisati. That means in the ear consciousness in the world is enjoyable in nature and plus in nature, there this craving arises and get established itself like that. And Gahana Vinyanam Loke Pirupan Satarupang, like I will tell in English. Gahana Vinyanam Loke Pirupan Satarupa mean the nose consciousness in the world is enjoyable and plus in nature. There this craving arises and get established. And then Jivha Vinyanam Loke, in along the same line, all the thing has been explained by the Buddha. Jivha Vinyanam Loke, that means your tongue consciousness in the world is enjoyable in nature and personal in nature, there this craving arises and get established in itself. Kaya vinyanam loke pirupan satarupang ete satana upajamana upajati etta nivitamana nivisati. The body consciousness in the world is enjoyable in nature and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established itself. And mano vinyanam loke pirupan satarupang ete satanha upajamana upajati etta nivisamana nivisati. And the mind consciousness in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and gets established in itself. So this is the so therefore Buddha mentioned five-do adverting conscious, five-do mental process, starting with this Chakku Vijnana, Sota Vijnana, Gahana Vijnana, like that. Eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, so on. And then, then there arise, if you have consciousness, consciousness cannot arise alone. When Chakku Vijnana arises in the Ido, Chakku Vijnana arises with the all seven universal mental factors. What is called Sabbhachitta Sadharana Chetasika, seven universals. What are the seven universals? Phassa, Vedana, Sanya, Chetana, Ekaggata, Jivitindriya, Manasikara. So Phassa means the contact, Vedana is the feeling, then Sanya is the perception, Chetana is the volition, and Phassa, Vedana, Sanya, Chetana, Ekaggata. Ekaggata is the one-pointedness, and Manasikara, attention. Then Jivitindriya. Jivitindriya means life faculty. Life faculty in the mind movement, right? In the life faculty, it is in the in the case of Rupa Kalapa or the subatomic particles in the body, also you have life faculty. Here, life faculty in the mind moment. So all together you have 7 kind of mental factor. Those mental factor always associated with the I consciousness, always associated with the other all consciousnesses also. So then, therefore, you to understand, it is very easy you to understand if if Buddha mention one mental factor, you please take another kind of mental factors, related mental factors to this consciousness. For example, if you are talking about the I consciousness, then the 7 universal you must include. So then Gahana Vijnana Loke also in the same way. Like that, then the Vijnana is finished, then Chakku Sampassa, contact, right? Chakku Sampasso Loke Piyarupan Satarupang, Ete Satanna Upachamana Upajati, Etta Nivisamana Nivisati. What is the Chakku Sampasso? The eye contact, right? The eye contact in the world is enjoyable in nature and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established. So the Sampasso Loke, in the same way, the ear consciousness in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established. And consciousness in the world is enjoyable in nature and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and established. In the same way, tongue consciousness in the world is enjoyable in and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established. And along the same line, the body consciousness in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and uh, establish itself. And then Mano, the mind consciousness in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and gets established itself. So then, actually, if you discern ultimate mentality of 6 sense doors, mental process, systematically, actually you will see those kind of consciousness very clearly, and you can see the contact and the other associated mental. Then Buddha mentioned another line also. Chakku sampassaja vedana loke. Go to another paragraph. Chakku sampassaja vedana loke. Now the feeling mental factor. But feeling mental factor, Buddha mentioned special name Chakku sampassaja vedana. That means the feeling mental factor, and that means the actually this is the feeling that's born by ear eye contact, right? Because of the eye contact, it is born. Because of that reason, Buddha mentioned Chakku sampassaja vedana loke, right? The feeling that is born by the eye contact in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established. In the same line, Sota sampassaja vedana loke. Here mentioned where this craving arises and get established, right? So then feeling that is born by the ear contact is enjoyable in the world. It is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and established itself. And then feeling that is the gahana sampassaja vedana loke, and feeling that is born by the nose contact is in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established. And again, potta rasa jivha sampassaja vedana loke, and then the feeling that is born by the tongue contact in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established, like that. And again, kaya sampassadaya vedana loke, and the body feeling that's born by the body contact in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established. And finally, mano sampassaja vedana loke piyarupan satarupang ette satanna upajamana upajati et nivisamana nivisati. And then the feeling that is born by the mind contact in the world is enjoyable and plus in nature. There this craving arises and get established itself. Okay, this is the feeling mental factor. I told you, if the consciousness arises, it never arises alone. It arises with the contact and the vedana or the feeling. Passa vedana. And then sanya. Then rupa sanya loke pirupang the next one. Rupa sanya loke pirupang satarupang ette sa tanna upajamana upajati etta nivisamana nivisati. And then the sanya mental factor, right? Sanya mental factor. Actually, the what is this feeling that is born by the eye contact? Actually, when you discern the ido mental process, you can discern feeling in every mind movement, right? Ido mental process. Actually, we went for the ido mental process many times. So then you can realize that the ido mental process. I will tell after breaking down of bhavanga mind movement, and then there arises panchadwara vajjana or the five adverting consciousness. And breaking down of five adverting consciousness, then the I do you have I consciousness. And then again in the breaking down of this I consciousness in the ido, then your mind there arises some patichana mind movement or some patichana chitta. That means the receiving mind movement. Receiving mind movement arises, and then santirana, that is the investigation mind movement arises, and then you have decision mind movement, vattapana, and then you have seven javan, impulsion mind. So after that, you have two kinds of registration mind movement, those things, and everywhere, every mental movement or the mind movement, you have feeling mental factor, right? Feeling mental factor based on the eye contact. Because if the eye doesn't touch or the I mean here Saccapabbaṃ or eye translucency or the eye sensitivity or eye transparency, if it doesn't touch with the object, then you don't have any kind of other mental factor also. Because of that reason, Buddha mentioned chakku sampassaja vedana, right? Chakku sampassaja vedana. Because of that reason, chakku sampassaja vedana means feeling that is born by the eye contact. Because of that reason, every contact are born. Every contact means every other mind movements of these five doors and mental process are born. So then, so that's why when before you discern this tanha or the craving in your past life, right? Past life or in this life also, you must practice your mentality and materiality meditation. That means nama rupa paricheda jnana. Or this is the first vipassana knowledge or insight knowledge, or the according to the seven kinds of purification, that's the ditti visuddhi, that is the purification of the view. So anyway, when you discern the fido adverting consciousness and fido mental processes in the processes, you can see this feeling also, this feeling. So chakku sampassaja vedana, like that. And then sanya, right? Sanya, chetana, like mental factor are coming now. Coming mean those arise with simultaneously with the mind. So rupa sanya loke, and then sanya mental factor. Sanya mental factor. What is the sanya mental factor? Sixth group. That is the sixth group of out of 10. Perception group. That is the perception group. So rupa sanya loke. That means the perception of visible objects in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established itself. That is the meaning. Rupa sanya loke pirupang satarupang ette sa tanna upajamana upajati etta nivisamana nivisati. And again, sanya loke, then sadda sanya loke. Sadda sanya loke means the perception of sound in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature, there this craving arises and get established. And then Gahana, sorry, Gandha Sanya Loke, the perception of orders in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature, there this craving arises and get established. And then the perception of the flavors, that is the what called rasa sanya loke, perception of the flavors in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature, there this craving arises and get established. And then again pottabba sanya loke, pirupam satarupam, the perception of tangibles in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature, there this craving arises and get established itself. And mano sampassaja, sorry, kaya sampassaja vedana, yeah, mano sampassaja, sorry, other one is Dhamma Sanya Loke Pirupam Satarupam. Dhamma Sanya Loke means the perception of Dhamma objects in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established itself. So in this is the way, right? This is the way, mean you can understand this very clearly, because why? Now explain the 7 universals, right? 7 universals, Passa, Vedana, Sanya, Chetana. But not all 7 universals, right? Among the 7 universal, you have Passa, Vedana, Sanya, Chetana, like 4 mental factors. And then, but this is this the akusala mental process, because tanha is there. Because of that reason, after the Chetana mental factor, Buddha mentioned tanha, right? So Chetana, Rupa Sanchetana Loke, Piya Rupan Sata Rupang, Etesa Tanna Upajamana Upajati, Etani Visamana Nives. Volition in regards to the visible objects in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established itself, like that. Volition, then the Rupa Sanchetana, then Saddha Sanchetana Loke, Gandha Sanchetana, Rasa Sanchetana Loke, Pottabba Sanchetana Loke, Dhamma Sanchetana Loke, Pirupam Satarupam, Ethe Satanna Upajamana Upajati, Etha Nivisamana Nivisati. That means volition in regards to the sound object is in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and gets established. Like that, volition in regards to the others in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established. And then flavors, volition in regards to the flavors in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established. And then the tangibles, volition in regards to the tangibles in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established. And volition in regards to the Dhamma object also in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established itself. Actually, volition also always associated with the consciousness and the rest of other mental factors. So while practicing mentality meditation, you can see every mental factor very freely to you in the mind movement, right? So therefore, this is actually now Passa Panchamaga Dhamma, right? But here Buddha mentioned Passa Panchamaga Dhamma also here like that, right? What is the Passa Panchamaga Dhamma? Passa, Vedana, Sanya, Chetana, Chitta. I always told this Passa Panchamaga Dhamma. Actually, Buddha mentioned Passa Panchamaga Dhamma here because Buddha mentioned Chakku Vinyana, this is the Chitta. And then Passa, Chakku Sampassa, Passa. And Vedana, Chakku Sampasaja Vedana. And then Sanya, and then Chetana. Those are the Passa Panchamaga Dhamma, right? So then Passa Panchamaga Dhamma finish now. And then because this is the akusala mind mental process, then Buddha explained craving. Because now otherwise you can't understand. Because this is the craving, or you have 8 kind of craving mindsets. What is called rooted greed rooted mindsets. 8 kind of mindset. I explained those things. I am not gonna explain that right now. So those kind of 8 greed-rooted mindsets, you have tanha, or the craving. So that means they are where this craving arises in the javana mind movement only, right? This craving arises very strongly in the 4th or 5th mental process of the mind or mental process. So keep it in mind. Always, I'm telling those things because Buddha always told to you, right? So then we can say Rupa Tanha Loke, Saddha Tanha Loke. Okay, Rupa Tanha Loke, Pi Rupan Satarupang, Ette Sa Tanha Upajamana Upajati, Etta Nivisamana Nivisati. And then Buddha says the craving for visible objects in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and establishes itself, right? And the craving for the sounds in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established itself. And the craving for the orders in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and establish itself. Okay, then again, rasa tanha loke. The craving for the flavors in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established. And in tangibles, rasas, the pottabba sanchetana, pottabba tanna loke. Pottabba tanna loke means in the craving for tangibles in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established itself. And then Dhamma sanchetana loke pirupan satarupang ethe satana upajamana upajati etha nivisamana nivisati. And then the craving for Dhamma objects in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established itself. So so then tanha is finished now. Tanha mental factor. You know, with the tanha, you have avijja and clinging also. But Buddha never mentioned those things because you must know. With the tanha, there arises ignorance, right? And there arises clinging also. And then vitakka and vichara chetasika, because this chetasika also important. This is the what called miscellaneous chetasika, vitakka and vichara, the initial application and the sustained application. But every mental factor, do the mention like that, you must know that according to the greed rooted mindsets, you have basically 20 mental factors, right? 20 mentality, including the greedy mind and the other 90 kind of 19 kind of, sorry, not 90, 19 kind of mental factor you have. So Buddha never mentioned all 90 kind of mental, 19 kind of mental factors here. Some mental factor Buddha mentioned, especially Passa Panchamaga Dhamma, and then you have, if you have Tanha, Buddha mentioned Tanha included, and then another two kinds of mental factor, vitakka and vichara, because all are together in the Tanha mind, Tanha mental process. Take into account like that, right? Tanha mental process or the craving mental process. Actually, while discerning unwholesome phenomena in the six sense doors, mental process, you should discern those this kind of craving, right? In Javana mind movement, especially mean only you can find out the Javana mind movement. Actually, you know, those kind of greed, eight-rooted greed, greedy mindsets, and then when you practice this, I will help you to practice. Give the jhana to me, and then I will guide to this level to you. And then the 10th group, 9 and 10th group, we just finished today. Then finish mean, you know, maybe we can finish. Yeah, okay, now we have 30 minutes, and then let's go. Rupa vitakko loke pirupan satarupang ethesa tanna upajamana upajati etha nivisamana nivisati. Rupa vichara mean, you know, initial application of the visible objects in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established itself. And along the same line, initial application of the sounds in the world, right? Saddha vitakko loke, sounds in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and establishes itself. And in initial application of the orders in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established. And then again, initial application of the flavors in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. There this craving arises and get established. along the same line, initial application of the tangibles in the world, they are is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. They are this craving arises and get established itself. And along the same line, you can say initial application of the Dhamma object in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. They are this craving arises and establishes itself. And again, the sustained application. Rupa vicharo loke. Rupa vicharo loke pi rupam satarupam etesa tanna upajamana upajati etta nivisamana nivisati. Vichara mean, sustained application. The sustained application of the visible objects in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. They are this craving arises and get established itself. Along the same line, we can say sustained application of the sound objects in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. They are this craving arises and get established itself. To others also, we can apply sustained application of the orders in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. They are this craving arises and get established itself. And then sustained application of the flavors in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. They are this craving arises and get established itself. And the sustained application of the tangibles in the world is applicable, is agreeable and pleasant. They are this craving arises and get established. And then Dhamma objects, sustained application for the Dhamma objects in the world is enjoyable and pleasant in nature. They are this craving arises and get established. Actually, while discerning consciousness, contact, feeling, perception, and volition, actually you can seamlessly see Vitaka and Vichara, because Vitaka Vichara also associated initial and sustained application. Actually, now Buddha mentioned in this way, idang vuchati bhikkave dukkhaṃ dukkha samudayaṃ arya saccam. Now Buddha gonna explain, Buddha concluded the noble truth of origin of suffering in this way. Then in this way, noble truth of suffering in this way, idang vuchati bhikkave dukkhaṃ arya saccam. And bhikkhu, this is said, this is called dukkha samudayaṃ arya saccam. This is said as a noble truth of cause of suffering, right? Like that, Buddha explained everything here. So then again, let's see. Actually, I want to say that what is the cause for present five aggregate? Actually, it is not the present craving itself. You keep in mind, not the present craving. It is the past craving in the first past life. I always told you, this is not the present. Present craving is actually is the supporting cause for to arise future craving, right? Future craving. So therefore, this present craving is not the cause. This past craving is the cause. So you must know this thing. That's why it's explained in the commentary. Actually, in the Dhammānupassanā or Dhammānupassanā, Buddha mentioned, he understands according to the nature, the previous craving that produced the causes that present suffering to arise. Right? Like that Buddha mentioned. So then the origin of present suffering, that means five clinging aggregates, is previous craving, and not the present craving. Keep it in mind. And to discern it, you should discern your first past life, and you should discern the other associated other associated causes like ignorance, with craving, clinging, volitional formation, and the coming power. You should discern. Actually, these five causes produce the present five clinging aggregate, right? Those five causes, that mean ignorance, craving, clinging, volitional formation, and coming power in the past, produce present five aggregate like materiality aggregate and the feeling aggregate, perception aggregate, and formation and consciousness aggregate. So then, you should discern the a causal relationship also, right? Causal relationship uh, of this actually that should be very conscientiously discerned, because why you should discern every mental factors in the mind movement, right? To be very careful. Very careful mean you should conscious. So then causal relationship of these five aggregate you should discern, causal relationship of this present craving and the five future aggregate also you should discern. And then you discern dependent origination, right? Dependent origination. Actually, Buddha here mentioned the present tanha, but you know how to practice the Samudayasacca, present tanha also, and future tanha also, and then past tanha also. So this is the way of the practical side I mentioned. So then this is the Samudayasacca, right? This is the Samudayasacca, or the noble truth of origin of suffering. So this is very important, very important. So keep it in mind this Samudayasacca, how to practice and everything. Keep it in mind every time, everywhere. The Buddha mentioned the mental processes. So you believe mental processes because of the Buddha taught you the mental processes, including the Paido mental processes as well as Mindo mental processes, according to the Buddha's teaching. So everywhere we come across with these Paido mental processes and Mindo mental processes. Okay, now today we finish our noble truth of suffering with the Atthakatha. And okay, Mr. Pankaj.
Sadhu, sadhu, Bhante. What a wonderful, wonderful explanation again, Bhante. Um, truly, truly wonderful, Bhante. Do we have time for question and answer, Bhante?
Yeah, maybe a couple of minutes. Right?
Sure, Bhante. So,
Yeah.
while others are thinking, Bhante, I have a
Yeah.
question. So, looking
Okay,
at
go for
how
it.
these process is explained here, with we have to go down to um, let's say Rupa or
Hmm.
Chakku related
Yeah.
process there, then
Hmm.
we are establishing that mind process
Uh,
right before our Patisandhi, which
hmm.
might have taken that object which had that tanha, which gave us this birth. And that process is what we are trying to um, discern, Bhante, when we are trying to discern the dukkha uh,
Samudaya.
samudaya satya.
Yeah.
Is that correct
Oh,
understanding, Bhante?
yeah. Here, actually, you don't need to. Actually, you must discern in the present five aggregate. You must discern your IDO, as you said, IDO and the IDO mental process.
Yeah,
Hmm?
Bhante, but that would be
But
in the Namarupa Paricheda Jnana, right,
yes,
Bhante?
Namarupa
The
Parichaya.
present one.
Yeah.
But when I'm
In the
trying to go for the
discern your past.
samudaya satya,
Yeah. So then it is done in this way. So, for example, now you know you have five causes. Hmm? You have five causes like ignorance, craving, clinging, and volitional formation, and the coming power. So all five causes you should discern. But here Buddha mentioned craving only, right? But how now we want to discern? For example, you need to move to Patisandhi, or the birth linking mind moment gradually, right? You move to back towards the birth linking mind moment, because birth linking mind moment, what does give the birth linking mind moment? My moment, you were at the verge of death in the past life. The last mental process, last mental process, or the final mental process of the past life, you have five kind of javana, right? Five kind of javana. The last javana will give the last javana's power, karmic power, will give the birth linking mind moment to you. And then you need to find out your last javana, right? Last impulsion mind moment, because if you see the if you see your birth linking mind moment, immediately before or immediately back is the mind movement is the last javana or the last impulsion mind movement, and then you go back, like, right, the fourth javana, third javana, second javana, and adverting and go, right, adverting and go, and those are very clear in front of your jhana, like, if you focus and focus, then one mind movement after the another comes to you, right, and then you can discern those things, and then you go to the manodhara vajjana and then bhavanga, right, and then in between bhavanga you may have some tanha, clinging mental process, because clinging grow at the end, no, initially avijja arisen. For example, avijja mean, what is avijja? Avijja mean you have expected, or you have aspirated a life as a human being, but human being is nothing, only the mentality and materiality and their causes. But because based on why it has happened to you, because you didn't realize the nibbana by the arahant path knowledge, right? And then because of that reason, we and you expected a life, another life, but life is nothing. But Deva life, Brahma life, and human life, even the for woeful states, lives are nothing, but we expected anyway. So now that is the avijja. So now avijja is the first mental process reason. So then avijja, you cannot find avijja mental process near to the death linking mental process, right? Death linking mental process, near to the death linking mental process is the upadana chitta, right? Upadana, the clinging mental process. So clinging mental process you can find out in this way. So therefore, you must know two bhavanga. In between two bhavanga, you have upadana mental process. And again, you want to see in between two bhavanga, your clinging mental process. Sorry, your craving mental process, because clinging we finish. And then your craving mental process and craving javana, you must discern, and then discern mean you just focus the javana, but go step by step go. Otherwise, it is not sure. But if you go step by step towards the craving javana, then it comes very clearly to you, and you are not any doubt at that time. And thereafter, if you finish your clinging, craving, and then you finally come to the in between the bhavanga mindsets, you have your avijja chittavi, or your ignorance mental process. So ignorance also you can find out in this way. So all three courses you finish. If all three courses finish, your volitional formation are in the last javana of the verge of death mental process. So then, and the karmic power is within that. So like that, every 5 courses you can find out going back. Okay.
Yes, Bhante. Yeah, sadhu, 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 Bhante. What a wonderful, wonderful explanation, Bhante. And again, how helpful you are in mapping this to the theory, Bhante, to the practice. This just makes it very, very clear, Bhante, that the practice has to be done this way only. There is just no other way. So
Yeah.
thank you very much for that mapping, Bhante.
Good job. Good job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are there any other questions for in the audience? Please raise your hand. Bhante, we have one more here, Bhante.
Okay.
Nami Bhante.
Sukhihotu, Dr. Sheetal.
Thank you so much, Bhante. I mean, it's truly, truly grateful, Bhante, for this explanation. Bhante, my question is related to Tatra Tatra Bhinandini, like delight in every existence. This Tanha takes the delight, or that being takes delight, whatever existence.
Yeah.
So how we define Bhante in the Niraya beings or hell beings, like in that existence, how we take that Tatra Tatra Bhinandini, Bhante?
Yeah, because sometimes they will do they usually do the unwholesome action, oh, they know about, oh, this action is not good, but they want to do, no? So they want to do mean anyway they have delight, right? Because knowing this is the danger, but they do. That means very quickly the delight comes, right? Delight comes, and then because of that reason, Buddha says tatra tatra abhinand. Even let's say like seven, the 5 kind of great akusala or the unwholesome actions, like killing mother and killing father, like that. So, but they know those things. This is very huge akusala, and they know, but they need to get delight, right? Get delight in the hell. That's the meaning, right?
Okay, Bhante. I
Can
was
understand?
so that is like in the past, whatever, while doing that karma, they have taken that delight. Is that
Yes,
because I
yes, yes.
was thinking,
They have delighted there, right? Get delight. They have gotten delight there, because they know the danger of this thing, but they got delight.
was thinking like Bhante, like wherever the new existence forms, they take like that Nikkanti Bhava, right? That Bhante, the first moment, right? They like that
Hmm.
existence. So I was thinking in
Hmm.
that way, Bhante, like even the hell being.
Hmm.
Um, s- so I was thinking that way, Bhante, like every existence they take
Okay.
like.
Yeah, yeah. So, for example, even when they get their birth thinking my movement, and then they reborn there, right? They reborn there as a 5 aggregate, the beings, and in the Nikanti Bhava Nikanti mind sets also automatically comes, right? Automatically comes to their mind, their heart base, because this is the karma. That karma is very powerful, right? Because of that reason, they got their Bhava Nikanti. That means the Nikanti mean, again some desire to that kind of becoming. That kind of becoming, they have a desire. So that such kind of mental process, mind of mental process is generated there in the heart base, because of karma. Hmm? Because karma, we never want to forget, right?
Just one mind moment, right, Bhante, like right after.
Yeah, not one mind movement. It is a mental form, a mental
Process.
process.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a mental process with 7 javana, and then maybe no tadarama, right? 7 javana. Mind mental mind so mano dwara vajana, mind adverting consciousness, and 7 javana. Javana contains the bhava nikanti javana, or the desire to that become.
That is the one that means that the first Pati Sandhi, that the whole chitta process, is that what we are like the whole 7 Javana will have that.
Actually, Patisandhi is the here. Patisandhi is the one mind movement, and then this is the first mind movement in the beings, right? First mind movement is the Patisandhi, and Patisandhi is not in the mental processes. Patisandhi, Bhavanga, and other Chuti mind, or the death linking mind movement, as well as life continuum, and then your birth linking mind are never in the Chitta Viti or the mental processes. They
They
are
process free, Bhante,
process
right?
free. Yeah, they're good. They are process free. So because of that reason, now after the Patisandhi or the birth linking mind movement, you have Bhavanga, right? Maybe usually 7 to 15 to 17 Bhavanga, right? They arise in the heart base. That means they, depending on the heart materiality, they arise. So then after that, only after the Bhavanga, 17 kind of Bhavanga, that means successively Bhavanga formed up to the 17 or 15, and then your Bhava Nikanti mental process arises, right? can understand Dakshita, mental process arises.
Yes.
That means after Bhavanga, there arise Manodara Vajjana and then Seven Chavana, which include Bhavanikan. Okay?
Bhavanikanti itself has some delight in there, Bhante, right? I mean, that tanha, or
Yes.
there's a Vedana there, right, Bhante? Because that cannot be alone. So that has some
Yes, yes.
maybe Sukha
No,
Vedana
yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah, Sukha Vedana. Yeah, Bhavanikanti means Sukha Vedana. Right? No, with the beat. No Domanasa Vedana.
Mhm.
Yeah, every
Okay.
mental factor,
Mhm.
loba, mula, or the greedy root mental process. We actually all beings have first mental process is the greedy root mental process, right? Because tanha it's included tanha. So therefore, every beings, even bodhisattva also, the first mental process is greedy root mental process.
Sadhu, sadhu, Bhante. I mean, it makes very clear, Bhante, now.
Okay.
We have one more raised hand, Bhante.
Okay.
Krantitai, please go ahead with your question.
Vandami Bhante. I was
Yes,
Thank you, Bhante. I was going to ask a question about a couple weeks ago we had a talk, and you mentioned about Machu Marana. Is it same ordinary Maran, or like how the aggregates fall apart?
Yeah, Machumarana means like death, right? Machumarana. It's a we can say that is the actually Machumarana mean that is the usual death, right? Because Buddha explained with with multiple terms. Multiple terms. Machumarana is also like it is also related to the death. Usual death also we can say that is the like I will tell Machu Maranam mean actually the usual, we can say that is the Chutti Chavanata. Machu Maranam mean actually our death in one existence, we can say, right? Machumarana means just our death. It is not the Atakatha. I can remember Atakatha said it is not the momentary death. Right? Momentary death means, the mind movement and the materiality movement you have in the, for example, you have mind movement with the mind and the mental factor and the object. So then, and then rising, after rising this mind movement is perish away. So that is the Kanika Marana or the momentary. But it is not the momentary death here. Here, momentary death means it is the usual death in one existence. Machumarana. Right? Okay.
Okay, Bhante, thank you. Thank you,
Okay.
Bhante.
Machumarana. Okay. Then
I have one more follow-up on that. After Patti Sandhi, you mentioned there is going to be 16 or 17 Bhavanga. So is the 16 or 17 Bhavanga is to allow those like Patti Sandhi would only need Hadaivattu. So that means it will only need a Navaka Kalapa there. But the other Kalapa, for example, we need to form sex-based determining Kalapa, right? Or Kaya Dasaka Kalapa, or any other Kalapa to form, to give them time to form. This Bhavanga 17 Bhavanga will allow that time, Bhante?
actually why this 15 to 17 Buddha said, because um, the Rupa, that means Paramattha Rupa, or that means the ultimate materiality, the lifespan of the ultimate materiality is equal to the 17 mind movements.
Right, Bhante.
Yeah, 17 mind movements, and now you have heart base materiality, that the life 17 mind movement. So therefore, Bhavanga now arises 17 mind movement of the, because Patisandhi is one mind movement only, right? And then Patisandhi, or the birth linking mind movement is one mind movement. And then now, but your heart-based materiality, you want to perish away, right? Perish away or passing away. Because of that reason, usually before the greedy root mental process of Bhavanikanti comes up, your Bhavanga want to be successively generated and perish away, right? Because of that reason, Buddha said it is usually 15 to 17. Can you understand?
Yes, Bhante, yeah. But I was just wondering, this 15 or 17 is specifically that time is because Rupa to arise, a Rupa lifespan, materiality lifespan is gonna be that much. So to allow this 6 decade Kalapa to
Not sex decade, hard decade, usually. Sex
ha-
decade also, we can say, because, Kaya Dasa Kalapa, and then sex decade Kalapa and Hade Dasa Kalapa, all three together arises simultaneously. But especially heart base, because mind is depending on the heart base.
so hard
Got
base
it?
hard base would start with the Patisandhi Chitta Bhante, right?
Yes. Heart base will start with the Patisandhi Chitta. That is one mind movement.
Yeah.
Now you want 17. Because of that reason, Buddha said 15 to 17. Now that means to break down the heart base materiality, you need another 17, another 16 mind movement. No? So that is fulfilled with Bhavana.
Right, Bhante. Yeah. So that's what my question was, that
Yes.
Rupa has to kind of stabilize before it perishes away. So to fill that time before your next Vithi can start or any process can start, so it needs to fill up with the unprocessed Bhavanga there.
Yes, good. That's the thing.
Oh, sadhu, 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 Bhante. Again, what a wonderful
So
explanation
then,
and everything. Truly grateful, Bhante.
Okay,
I do not see any more questions, Bhante.
okay, then thank you so much, Mr. Pankaj and Dr. Sheetal in USA. And thank you for having me. And then thank you for the listeners who listened Buddha's Dhamma talk today. So then we accumulated Kusala thing, and we want to share with everybody. So let's recite this stanza with the sharing merits. Idam me punyang asavakkaya vamhotu. Idam me punyang nibbanasa pachayo hotu. Mama punyang bhagam sabbe sattanam bhajemi. Te sabbe me samang punyang bhagam tabantu. Buddha sasanang chiram tithatu. Buddha sasanang chiram tithatu. Buddha sasanang chiram tithatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.